Andreia episode. So, Mountain Dew Voltage. This is not a paid advertisement, but I wish it was. That Mountain Dew Voltage actually changes the mood of me whenever I'm doing a video. It makes me more energetic, and I like it. So we're talking about laches. I'm going to try to be more pithy with this video, because with most videos I'm not so pithy and it becomes long and drawn out, and I don't think that's good for my channel. Because people won't be watching it as much when they see the very long video. So to get to the point, Andreia means courage. But at the same time, it has a very interesting... It's a very interesting concept of courage, because it's not standing your ground, it's not caring about yourself, it's not all this other stuff. In fact, in the Laches dialogue, Plato talked about it, and Socrates talked about it. The concept of Andreia actually can be explained as knowing your stuff and acting on your knowledge. Now, this entire idea comes from the Laches dialogue, like I just said, where Socrates was talking about Plato is talking about warfare with his former generals from when he fought in the Peloponnesian War. And in that dialogue, he talks a lot about Spartans and how they acted at Andreia and other battles. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a... Speaking of Sparta, Plutarch on Sparta, the Penguin Classics, Spartan Sayings and Biographies. It's a very interesting book. Also, Plutarch's Moralia Essays. I will be talking about this guy a little bit in this episode, but anyway. First, I'm going to be talking about the whole entire idea of Andreia. That since it's knowing things, and when you know things, you think about things, and you put them to the use, because you know that this will happen if you do this, or that will happen if you do that, so you can make a little plan formed around your idea. In fact, when Socrates was a hoplite in the Athenian army, he actually fought for... Crap, I'm going to crash with this thing, so I'm just going to be slower. So, he crashed with the Spartans a lot. And in one of the battles, he actually protected one of his generals with his shield, and he had a very stern gaze, and he told these guys that he didn't say anything. He just stared at them, and he had his shield ready, and he was looking like he was ready to go fight anyone who came near. And so people didn't attack him, and so he was able to allow his general to escape. Or as they would say back then in ancient Greece, the strategos. And from there, he got a lot of respect. Another battle, he retreated, and as he retreated, he was very well organized. And in fact, his general said that such a great praise that, you know, if he would have had more men who were like Socrates and who were very organized and able to do things with efficiency, he would have actually been on the winning side in that battle, not on the losing side. So, anyway, back to the idea that Andreia is the knowledge, or that you know things and you're able to act on this knowledge with confidence. It's very interesting that, and you actually apply to justify true belief, because like a lot of people think justified true belief is either obsolete or useless, but they don't consider the full picture. Justified true belief, in the sense that it exists, is the idea that you have this belief that is justified, obviously, but what is it justified by? It's justified by knowledge. And some people would say experience, but experience is a type of knowledge. In fact, if I were to go into a posteriori or a posteriori, or a priori, I mean, one of those actually is pretty much simplified as experiential knowledge, or knowledge you learn from others. And anyway, knowledge is the thing that justifies this belief to where you think it's true. But on the other end, you have what's called justified false belief. And the justified false belief is this idea that, if the facts say that's false, or the knowledge says it's false, you reject the idea for now. That doesn't mean you revisit it later and realize it's actually true. In fact, justified true belief doesn't even mean that's true either. It just means that based on the knowledge you have now, that this idea is actually seemingly true. And when it's seemingly true, well, you might want to accept it for now. At least until you find contrary evidence, then you reject that idea. Because it's all about this logical consistency within the knowledge and the love of learning. In fact, going back to the Moralia essay, Plutarch's essays, or Moralia, he actually wrote this really formidable treatise called On Listening. And in it, the whole entire idea was he was trying to advise someone on how to study someone else's opinion, or how to interact when someone's opinion, or someone's giving their opinion, or giving a speech, or even just in some type of conversation. And one of the things he actually does is he quotes from Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. And what Zeno of Citium essentially said is that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because nature has told us that we should listen more and talk less. And a lot of people, if you go on online discussions, or even sometimes in real life, that they will listen to something, but they will cut off anything and they'll just say, no, that's not right. Then they might even start a shot fest and start putting contention to the idea, because they're not patient with you, and to the point of trying to understand where you're coming from. And from this, what happens is that they can't really see that the belief is justified or not. In fact, they can't even learn anything from you, and you can't really learn anything from them. And that's where listening is very important. Now, on saying stuff, I'm not saying that you shouldn't say stuff. I'm saying that you should listen and you gather all this information. In fact, even if someone is ultimately wrong, they have something that you could learn from in the long run. You can learn from anything, both contrary and similar opinions. And that's something that people need to learn today, because a lot of times people are way too violent with disagreements today. It's not right. I mean, people need to learn. But at the same time, if you know stuff, if you think you know stuff, doesn't mean you should not act with confidence. But at the same time, you always need to be open. And that's part of Andreia, is being able to put yourself out there, being able to assert yourself, but at the same time, you're acting with wisdom, and wisdom, according to Theaetetus, I think that's how you pronounce the name, that wisdom is knowledge, or knowledge is wisdom. It's that they're the same thing in this context. So when you know things, you become wiser. Now, there are other definitions of wisdom. I will go over them in other videos, but for this video, we'll just go with this idea because it's a Platonic idea of wisdom as knowledge. Some definitions even say wisdom is the knowledge of blah blah. Like, for example, Erasmus would say wisdom starts with self-knowledge. So when you have this knowledge that comes into your life, don't be afraid to act on it. Don't be afraid to learn more through this actions. And everything you do, you learn. And in that, you can become practically unbeatable. You actually become a stronger individual at all times. For example, a person like this in fiction, we can say Itsu Midoriya from My Hero Academia. It's kind of like this because he's always taking notes on these different quirks, or and he also learns intrinsic with his observations how to be a good hero. Goku, he is said to be limitless, or because he always pushes his limits and he learns new things, new techniques, whether it's with his ki or martial arts. In the same way, you could be the person who's like this. When you practice the Andreia, that you learn how to do this and that, and you keep learning, but you're always consistently using your knowledge and pushing yourself with confidence, and in that, you're just practically unstoppable. You become someone who's actually, as Plato would say it, beyond the world's way of things, because a lot of times with the world, people are very dogmatic, they're not open-minded, and it becomes wrong in many ways. And so that's all I have to say about this episode. As I said, I would make it more pithy, and it's almost at the 12-minute mark. So I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, watch my other videos, have fun, discuss things, dislike if you think it needs to be disliked. If you liked it, please put in the comments your experience with knowledge and wisdom and courage, or some type of application of it. And if you have a suggestion of a topic, let me know. I'll be posting more and more videos as they go along. And like always, have a good time. And I still have issues with my USB on my computer, but it doesn't matter. I'm still posting. So see you guys.